Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. I have a couple very interesting stories and very unusual stories that I want to share with you guys that happened to me back in 2023. So, these are experiences that I think could very well be abduction scenarios. And I haven't really told anyone publicly before, but I've told like close friends. I told my sister, I told Ben from the 401 Files YouTube channel. When I told Ben the one story, he was like, dude, you have to make a video about that because it has all the telltale signs of an alien abduction. And I'm like, no, I don't think I should because it's kind of weird and I can't really prove that it was anything. And I felt like it would just make me sound crazy, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's probably an okay story to tell. It's kind of interesting, and you guys can let me know what you think about it. But before I get into these stories that I'm going to tell, I just wanted to share a piece of UFO footage that I filmed on November the 10th. So let's have a look at that real quick. So here you can see flying directly overhead is two lights very close together. Not your typical satellite, which is usually one light, but this is two lights very close together. I'd filmed stuff like this before in the city of Edmonton when I was experiencing all this stuff that's featured in my documentary, The Beings from Beyond. But you can see here I turned the camera down, and that's because I was putting the strap around my neck because I wanted more stable footage, and when I panned the camera back up, it was gone, and you can't see it anywhere, so I don't know what happened to it. It just completely disappeared. But I'll play the clip again, just so you can see it again. Very interesting. It was dead silent, flying directly overhead, and yeah, super eerie in my opinion. I also wanted to take a second to thank some subscribers for their super chats. So Independent Realist 6817, thank you. Frank SCH71, thank you so much. And Ezekiel 903, your guys' support means everything. So thank you for those super chats. Thank you everyone for your support. If you want to support the channel, just share these videos, get them out there, share, subscribe, like everything. And yeah, thank you guys so much. So very interesting footage. Let's get back to the alien abduction stories. So the first story happened in 2023. It was early in the year, like it was winter. And I don't remember exactly what the date was, to be honest with you. But what happened was I was outside one evening watching the sky. My routine was to go out in the evening, usually every night, and see if I could film anything in the sky because I was at that point filming a lot of things which are featured in my documentary, The Beings from Beyond. A lot of weird light anomalies, orbs, things of that nature, just the UFO stuff in general. So I was out that evening, I was all bundled up because it was cold, and I don't remember filming anything that night. I don't think anything actually happened. But I went inside, took all my gear off, and then I walked over to the kitchen counter. Because on the kitchen counter, I had a binder that just had like blank paper in it. And I would always have that binder open on the counter with like a pen nearby so that I could just like write down ideas as they came to me. Like I would write down video ideas and just ideas for projects I wanted to work on. So I walk over to the counter where the binder is, and I'm like leaning up like over the counter, over the binder, and directly in front of me I can see the kitchen stove, and on the stove is a clock, and the clock says 7 p.m. So I noticed that. I'm like, oh, it's okay, it's 7 p.m. And out of nowhere, after I noticed what time it was, out of nowhere, I completely forgot why I was standing there and what I was doing. Like, I have no idea what happened, but it was the weirdest feeling. It was like all of a sudden, I just forgot why I was there, why I was standing there, what I had been doing. And like there's no really easy way to describe the feeling. It was just like all of a sudden I forgot. And I was like, whoa, why am I here? Like, why am I standing here? I look at the clock and I swear to God it's 8 o'clock. Like out of nowhere, in a matter of like a second, it went from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And I had completely forgotten why I was standing there. Very, very strange. The next weird thing is that I feel a weird sensation on the side of my torso, on my left side, which lasted for maybe about 10 minutes, maybe not even 10 minutes. So I'm like, okay, that's weird, but could just be a coincidence. And I'm starting to like put the pieces together. I'm like, I've been filming this stuff in the sky. I just lost an hour of time, and I completely forgot why I was standing where I was standing, and I forgot what I was doing. And so I kind of start getting worried, but eventually I just kind of like brush it off as to nothing probably happened, and I was just like tripping. I should say, when this happened, I was sober. Like, I wasn't on anything. And then I don't know how many days after it was, but these weird spots appeared on my torso, like on my left side. They looked almost like burn marks, kind of. And I took pictures of them. You can see them here. And I'm thinking, like, what is this? Is this related to, like, what happened the other night when I had that weird feeling on my side? Because it looks kind of like burn marks, but maybe it's not. Maybe I have, like, some weird disease or something. Maybe I have, like, a ringworm or something. I don't know. But those marks stayed there for, like, a long time, like, months before they faded away. So I don't know what happened there, but the experience has all the telltale signs of an abduction, like the missing time, me forgetting why I was standing there. The thing that weirded me out the most was I was standing up and I was conscious while it happened. Like, it wasn't like most abduction stories where the people are laying in bed, they're sleeping, and they have a weird experience that they usually remember. Like, they remember being aboard a craft. I don't remember anything other than forgetting why I was standing there. It was so strange. And I was standing up, I was conscious, and like, how do you explain that? So that's the one story. Now, the next story I wanted to tell happened the following fall. I think it was in October 2023. And this one's, like, iffy. It might be something, it might not be, but it was weird to me at the time. One night I woke up probably at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, roughly. And I woke up and I got out of bed because I went to take a piss. But I noticed when I got up and, like, after I pissed and got back to bed, I noticed I felt like really, 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 really relaxed and really, like, good. Like, it was a very strange feeling that honestly I hadn't felt before, and I've never felt it since. Like, it was a feeling of just being incredibly relaxed and just, like, it's hard to explain. It's like I was sedated or, like, stuck with some sort of drug, and I was just like, I felt so good. And I noticed that, and I'm like, wow, I feel so unusual right now, but in a great way. Like, I wish I felt like this all the time. Like, what is this? And then I fell back asleep, and I immediately start having, like, the most vivid dream that I've ever had in my life, like, ever. And this is what happened in the dream that I can recall. There was a woman. She had, like, dark hair. She was quite a bit shorter than me, and she took me outside. And this was, like, in, like, the countryside. Like, it wasn't in a city or anything. She took me outside, and it was, like, sunrise in the dream. And she points to the horizon. She's like, I'm going to show you the true nature of reality. She points to the sunrise, and it's like, what it looks like is a field, like an open field with the sun coming up. The sky's, like, all reddish orange. And it looked like if you were to take a photograph of that and, like, cut it in half with scissors and then, like, shift the both sides of the picture so it looked, like, fractured. That's what it looked like. She's like, I'm going to show you the true nature of reality, and then points to that. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know what that means, like, at all. But thanks, I guess. And so that was weird. And like, this is very, very vivid, like the most vivid dream I've ever had. So it seems real. Then she takes me into this building. She takes me into this building where there's like I couldn't really recall anything in the building other than a stairs that went, like, down to this room. So we go down the stairs, and she takes me into this room. And then this is the weirdest part. This guy enters the room who is, like, a man of some kind, but he's wearing, like, a white lab coat, and his face is green and, like, really disfigured and ugly looking. And he's got these big, like, black goggles on his face. So the guy looks very creepy and strange. He's got these big goggles on. His face is green and disfigured. He's wearing a white lab coat. In his hand, he's got a big needle. And he takes that needle and he sticks it in my arm on my left side. And that was like the last thing I remembered. But it's interesting because I had this weird feeling before, like almost like I was on some sort of drug. Like I was just like so like chill and relaxed when I had got up to go pee. And the weird thing also is that a lot of people, when they have abduction things happen to them, like when they get abducted, they remember it as like a really weird dream. And I thought like a parallel that could be drawn from that dream and an abduction is that this guy that stuck me with the needle had these big black goggles on. It could be like a representation in my mind of like a gray alien, because gray aliens obviously have those big black eyes, and this guy in the dream had these big black goggles on, which was unusual. It was very unusual. So I don't know. It makes me think of like other experiences I had as a kid too. Like there's a video on my channel from way back in the day, like when I first started the YouTube channel. If you go really far back, you'll find a video called like a night visitor or a visitor in the night or something like that. And it's of an experience I had when I was 9 years old, where I woke up one night and I looked directly in front of me where there was a walk-in closet, and there was a figure of a man standing in the walk-in closet, and it was just like a white shape of a man. You couldn't see any like features or anything, just a solid white shape of a man, and this guy was just standing there watching me sleep. If you haven't seen the video, go back and watch it, because I tell the story in detail. But that was like a really weird experience I had. That was one of the first paranormal experiences I had, but it makes me think, like, was that a paranormal experience or was that like an alien experience? Because a lot of people who have this stuff happen to them, it happens to them from childhood. And then I remember in that same house that incident occurred in, I would have dreams where I'd be like floating around my bedroom. And there was legit one time I had that dream that I was floating around my bedroom. In the morning, I woke up on the floor on the opposite side of the room from where the bed was, with my pillow. Like I was on the floor sleeping with my pillow in front of the door. And I've never been like a sleepwalker, like ever. So I don't know. It could be an abduction scenario. It could have been happening for a long time. I don't know. I have no memories of being aboard like a spaceship or anything like that. They're just stories at this point. But the first thing that happened, like with the missing time, that was the weirdest experience ever. Like it was very strange. But those are my stories. Make of them what you will. They happened. But are they nothing, or are they something involving aliens? I don't know. They're just interesting. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.